Good afternoon. So we're back in the Peak District again. We're up in the Dark Peak, about as far north as you can get in the Peak District. I'm looking to tick off three Ethels today, and find the source of the River Don. I grew up in Doncaster most of my early life, right over the River Don. My parents had a house on the river banks, and so it'd be quite nice to find the source of it, which is over there somewhere. We'll find it probably tomorrow morning. I'm doing a wild camp. If I can find somewhere to put the tent down. I'm in the Vango Helium UL1 today. It hasn't been out for a long time, but it's a very small little tent. I guess it's a glorified bivvy. It's between a bivvy and a tent, so it's small. Anyway, more of that later, and I'll bring you back in a little while. So I saw this earlier from the car. I just can't zoom in. I need him to fly over me. It's the Avro Lancaster, one of only two flying in the entire world. He flew over me earlier, and wherever he's been, he's flying back. I'm not sure where he's based, but it's a beautiful sight and a lovely sound. Unfortunately, I can't zoom in anymore. And I've got the microphone on me, so you might not be able to hear it. If he does turn around and head over me, I'll video him again. So we're just having to do a little detour around that lot. It's open access land, but as you can see, there's a fence with barbed wire on it, no stiles. So I'm heading out onto the road, along, and then back in to where I want to be. So it's going to add on about 15 minutes to the journey, although the road might be actually quicker than going across all the hilly bumpy stuff. So I'm making my way to Snailsden Pike End, which is over there somewhere, and down here is Snailsden Reservoir. So I've just had to do a second detour. I couldn't see a path down the side of the reservoir, so I dropped back onto the road, another couple of 100 metres, and then back off on what looks like a proper track, maybe down to the reservoir, and then I'll be going up over the other side. And somewhere over there, hopefully, I'll also find the source of the River Don. My childhood river, the River Don, and the source of the river is just up here somewhere. So I'm going to try and find that. If it's clear enough, I might stop and make a brew. Catch you later. I made it to my first trig point of the day. Also an Ethel-ish. The Ethel's just over there, but we'll go for the trig. It seems an appropriate place to stop to say I've got to the summit. So this is Snailsden Pike End, about 477 metres, and I didn't think I'd get here today. I thought I'd be stopping well short of this, so I shall push on to the next one. which I can't remember what its name is, but I'll fill you in when I get there shortly, hopefully. But anyway, the sun is shining. It's glorious weather. New bits of kit today. I've got the Boya microphone plugged into the iPhone, and it seems to be working a treat. There is quite a breeze up here. I will have to find somewhere nice and sheltered to put the tent. But as I said earlier, I'm in the little Vango Helium UL1, tiny little thing. It's a glorified bivvy, and hopefully I'll be able to find somewhere low down, maybe a little bit of shelter. Normally can with that tent, and yeah, probably sleeping like sleeping in a coffin. Hello. I've just come across a lovely gorge. This is leading down to Windscar Reservoir. So I've stopped to just make a brew, have a little cup of tea, and then I might push on for a bit more. But I've found quite a lovely spot here with a view back down the gorge. It is a little bit windy. There are a couple of other spots around that look quite nice, but I'll probably push on after my cup of tea and find somewhere a little bit later. It's still only 4:30, so it's a bit early to be pitching a tent, and my legs feel fine to carry on, so it'd be good to carry on to try and get to the next Ethel, which I still can't remember what it's called. See you in a bit. So this isn't Moju Raspberry Gut Health. That's milk that I froze overnight, so it's still really icy cold. It's defrosted nicely now, and that'll be fine for in the morning, for another cup of tea in the morning. So top tip, get yourself one of these tiny little bottles. What are they? 60 millilitres. Drop of milk. It was robust. It didn't burst or anything like that in the freezer, and just a perfect amount of milk for a cup of tea now, a cup of tea in the morning, maybe a coffee as well later tomorrow morning on the walk. But yeah, top tip, great idea. So there's some amazing engineering of sorts here. This clough going down to Windscar Reservoir. There's remains of a little hut down there, and then a properly maintained, what do you call it? It's like being put in a canal, the stream, and down below me is some other structure, but appears to be solid. Solid from above. It's probably got a room inside. I'm not going to go down there because I want to crack on. But then the stream is travelling all the way along there and disappearing into a hole, and it comes out the other side. So whether there's at some point been a water wheel in there or something to get power seems unlikely, but it seems a very odd sort of thing to do. Culvert, that's the word. Here we go. It's a culvert, sorry. I should know that. And that's heading down to the reservoir. Very, yeah, interesting. So, I'll catch you up later. Good afternoon. Judging by the cotton grass, which normally signifies that it's very wet, this, according to the map, is the Don Well. And it drops down into that little valley down there. And this is the start of the River Don, which goes all the way past my hometown of Doncaster. And this is the source right up here. I thought I might find a little babbling brook or something, but no such luck. I would imagine further down that clough there, it'll be trickling, but Up here at the source, there's nothing. But it's very still, very peaceful up here. Not seen a soul for about an hour, and it's just lovely. Right, on to the next Ethel. I'll see you in a little bit. Could this be the source of the Don? I've just been to the Don well, which was just over there somewhere, according to the map, but this is definitely trickling, and it's going into a lovely murky swamp, and then that's heading down the valley into that clough and down into Winscar Reservoir. This could be the source of the River Don. So we were meant to be going to Britland Edge, which is over there, but between there and this fence there are no footpaths, and then the plan was to come from there all the way back to where I am now and down this fence line. There is a bit of a path down here to Dead End, Trig Point, Dead End I think it's called. So I'm going to do that one from the other side. Apparently there's a car park about a mile north of it on the road, so it'll be easier to get to from that side. I'm not trudging across all this uneven ground here, all this heather. I've just had to trudge across all of that, and it's very slow going. So Britland Edge, we'll see you another day. Hello again. So, in the middle of nowhere, I'm high above Snailsden Reservoir, heading to Dead Edge End Trig Point, which I think is up there somewhere. In fact, that might be the Trig Point, just on the top of that hill, that little mound. And I'm going to drop down the other side, hopefully find some shelter from this wind. There's a bit of a breeze up here. It's so exposed. I don't really want to be pitching the tent. Over the other side of this ridge, this mound, beautiful drop down to a big reservoir. It just looked like the Lake District. It really could be the Lake District. So I'm going to push on to the Trig Point up here. I think over to the left, I think that's Sheffield in the distance. All the beautiful wind turbines growing electricity for us. But it's a beautiful evening, blue skies, and not a single person up here. I'm totally alone and isolated up here. But I'm just glad I've got a tent, food, cook set, sleeping bag. I've got the whole shooting match in my bag. And I'll show you that later. So I've managed to find the route of the Woodhead Railway Tunnel. So this tunnel, there are 3 tunnels built between 1845 and 1848, I think it was, and all 3 closed in 1981. We're looking at one of the surveying pillars. There are a few along this track, so I'll spin you around. This track is directly above the tunnel. I don't know how far below me it is. Or tunnels, there's 3 of them, and we're gonna carry on to one of the air vents, and hopefully, if there's some shade from the wind, some shelter from the wind, we'll pitch the tent behind the air vent. I'll catch you in a bit.
night's sleep. I found a pitch last night, just above the, somewhere above the Woodhead railway tunnels, the former tunnels. I'm in in my little Van Gogh Helium UL1, tiny little tent. I'd forgotten how cosy it is.
Good morning, campers. So I've had a fantastic sunrise over Sheffield, really lovely. So I've had a really good night's sleep. I've woken up to quite a lot of midges, so I'm going to keep this fairly brief, but you can see my camp spot. So this is one of the former air shafts to one of the Totley tunnels, maybe for all three. Not Totley, sorry, the Woodhead railway tunnels. I'm being distracted by the midges, but I've had a great night's sleep. I'm in my lovely little old Van Gogh Helium UL1. Fantastic little tent. It weighs just a smidge over 1 kilo, including the poles, so it's very lightweight. It's I suppose a glorified bivvy, but plenty of room. I can just about sit up in there, and I'm 5'10". So my sleep system last night, I've got the Flextail R05 mat, a fairly new mat. Not a few people have had it. It's very comfortable. Mine's the mummy shape, yeah, very comfortable. Had a really good night's sleep. I'm on fairly hard grass today, but yeah, all good. Above that, I've got a thin summer weight Rab sleeping bag. I had a liner in it after about 3 o'clock this morning. I popped the liner in, what else? Oh, a brand new Trekology pillow I've got with the Velcro strap. Top tip, make sure you get it the right way up. I got it the wrong way up and it slid off in the middle of the night, including the elastic. So one side of the Trekology pillow has tiny little rubber dots all over it. The rubber dots need to be downside, and they just help it stop it slipping. So I've been up about an hour. I've had a cup of tea, and I'm thinking with these midges I need to get a wriggle on and get moved on, and I'll probably stop again later. I don't know whether you can see there's a reservoir over there where I'm parked. So I did about 7.5 miles yesterday. I've got about another 2 to do back to the car. 1.5, 2 miles. So I will probably get packed up and stop and have my breakfast down by the reservoir, which will be maybe a nicer spot than up here with all these feasting midges. So anyway, hope you've had a good time as well. Hope if anybody's been out camping, you've had a good spot too. Cheers. Right, hello again. I'm going to try this one last time to show you my kit. I've got the I've had to resort to what they call it, a smidge net. I've never used this before, but geez, it's bad. I don't know whether that shows up on here, but it is really bad. So it's very brief, pack up and get gone. So today everything's gone in my Osprey Stratos 36 litre bag. All of this goes in there quite, I'll say comfortably. It's a bit of a squeeze. Osprey bag, Osprey pack, Rab Solar Eco Zero sleeping bag with a Sea to Summit liner. We've got the Flextail R05 mat, a few little treats, my Trekology chair, a charging connector for my Apple Watch. One thing I've mentioned before that I used last night, so I forget the name of this, the O-light. So I had that hanging up inside the tent just to diffuse the light a little bit. I've got this little diffuser that I've made. This is actually one of those silicon toe protectors that you can get. You can get them for cheapest chips. I've cut it down and makes a nice little rubber diffuser. It's a perfect fit on the O-light. So that was hanging up inside the tent. And then there's not a lot else, just all the normal stuff. My stove, and the tent is the Vango UL1, and I'm going to spin the camera around now, and you can probably see how many midges there are. It's horrendous. My hands are covered, the phone is covered. I'm going to get packed up and get going. Okay, see you later.
That's where I was. Leave no trace as always. And I'll see you in a little while. I'm going to stop and have my breakfast in a little bit because I'm getting out of here because of these midges. Take care. So we finally made it to the bottom of Windscar Reservoir. Looking a bit low, which is I suppose typical for this time of year. We're the second week of August and height of the summer. We've had some nice hot weather actually the last week, and I've woken up today to what looks like another beautiful day. Hopefully there'll be somewhere to sit a little bit further down here. I can sit at the edge of the reservoir away from the midges and get some breakfast. I'll see you in a bit. So you've got Windscar Reservoir. I'm on the Dam Road. And way down below is what would have been the original little hamlet, I guess, of Windscar, overshadowed by this huge dam. But what a beautiful morning, beautiful.
Again, so I made it back round to the car. The car is just over my shoulder, somewhere over there. So I just stopped to have some porridge. I think that's me done for this walk. I'm above Snailsden Reservoir, which has been a great spot to just sit just here and have some porridge. I'm now going to go and park up near West Nab. It's a nice little walk in. To go and do that trig point and one more Ethel. I was going to do 3 this weekend, but didn't make it to Britland Edge. I've just actually met a guy. He was doing 40 miles today, and he said it's not the nicest walk, and it's not actually the nicest hill, he says. So we'll try it another time. But for now, that's me done. Thank you for watching. I've no idea whether this video is any good. I've used the Boya mic for most of it, so that's a first. So hopefully the sound quality is okay. The rest is probably just gibberish. But anyway, if you've liked it, leave some comments. If you haven't, leave some comments. Cheers for watching. Thank you very much. And as always, leave no trace. Just enjoy the hills. Thank you. So back out again, following on from breakfast over Snailsden Reservoir. I decided that as I couldn't get to Britland Edge yesterday, that I'll have a cheeky bag of the most northerly Ethel that there is. So I'm heading up West Nab, just up there. Maybe have another bit more breakfast, and then I'll be heading home. this is what happens when you do a little bit of unpacking in the car and you leave your spoon in the car. You have to improvise. Bacon flavoured glasses. These aren't my proper glasses. These are purely for camping. They're a very old pair. I'm not bothered if they get broken. I think in my bag I have got my contact lenses. I've got hand sanitizer, so I can clean everything. I might clean my hands, put my contact lenses in, and then not worry about the glasses. But for now, I've got to make do. Bacon and egg cob coming up.